as since we know that Allah enters creation in a
No,
way
I
that
didn't say
befits
he
him.
does.
You did. You said that he does it in a way
No,
that befits his majesty.
no, I said he descends to the lowest creation in a way that befits his majesty, and
Right.
we don't say he does enter creation. That's what I've been telling you the whole time.
But you
So,
affirm, you just 2 seconds before this, you affirmed that yes, he enters creation.
no, I said yes, he descends to the lowest heaven, but we don't talk about that yet.
Welcome to this channel. Today, we're diving into an exciting debate between Godlogic and a Muslim, as they lock horns in this crucial debate. Does Allah enter creation? This is a fascinating discussion about the theological implications of divine omnipotence and the nature of God's actions in Islamic and philosophical terms. Let's watch the video.
You know, in order for him to have a son, he need a wife or, a companion.
Yeah, and he's talking to pagans. Let me grant you to you. Let's say Allah says that he cannot have a son without a wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he were to have a son, then that son would be divine, and then that's not what Allah. That doesn't befit the majesty of Allah.
Well, having something that doesn't befit his majesty doesn't mean that it's not something he can or can't do, right? So, like,
Yeah,
I would agree with you that the Quran expresses that he's too good or too high, too majestic to have a son, but that doesn't take away his ability.
Yeah, again, there's some stuff that Allah does, and there's some stuff that Allah doesn't do. So let's say Allah would not begot a son, because that doesn't befit his majesty. That doesn't mean that he can't do it, because that's illogical.
Right. So that's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about whether he would or wouldn't. We already see from the Quran that he wouldn't do that, and he didn't. I'm talking about whether he can or cannot. And this verse says that he cannot unless he has a wife.
Yeah, because it wouldn't befit his majesty.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that he's unable to do it by himself.
No, but in that verse, he's talking to the pagans, and he's telling them.
Yeah, he's refuting
He's
them.
mocking them, and that's a hyperbole.
No, he's not mocking them. He's refuting them. The pagans are saying that he has children.
Yeah,
and
in a way that he's mocking them. He's telling them, how can he have a son? Because that's what they believe.
He says, how can he have a son if he doesn't have a mate?
Yeah, because that's what the pagans believed.
Well, so the pagans believe that in order to have children, you need a mate to have children with. And so Allah's refutation to their accusation that he has children is that he doesn't have a mate.
Yeah, Allah is mocking them.
Right. So he doesn't have a mate, therefore he doesn't have children. It's not a mocking, he's refuting them. Right?
Yeah, he's refuting them in a mock, like he's refuting them and also mocking them. And again, even if you were to argue this, again, I will tell you, Allah doesn't do some stuff that doesn't befit his majesty.
Yeah, that's again.
Allah will not become a man.
Hold on, time out, brother. Because I don't want you to like rest on this. What Allah would or would not do. Because I want to be clear. Because that's not the argument. The argument is not what Allah would or would not do. The argument is what Allah could and could not do. Okay, what he can do, what he can't do. I'm talking about ability, not what he's willing to do. Okay. So if he's unable to do something, right, then that is without help. That is showing that he is not all powerful and by definition, not God. So he's unable to have a son without a mate, which shows that he's not all powerful and therefore is not God.
Yeah, because again, I told you that's a hyperbolic language, and the Quran used that, and that's why Allah is using that to mock and refute the pagans.
When you say hyperbole, what do you mean by that, bro?
Like Allah is trying to, like he's talking to them in a mocking way, like he's mocking.
But is that what they actually believe, or is that just hyperbole, or is it like figure of speech or whatever? Do they actually believe that he has some children?
The pagans, yeah.
Okay, and do pagans, according to their logic, you need a mate in order to have children?
Yeah, they believe that Allah has sons, and Allah is telling them.
Right, so it's not hyperbole, it's not figurative speech. He's using literal language and a literal refutation to knock out this idea that he has kids, that he has children of his own. He's getting rid of this idea. So it's not figure of speech. It's not mocking. He's refuting them, their logic. And he's saying, I don't have a wife, so therefore I don't have children, because what's required to have children is a mate. I don't have that, so stop saying I have children. It's impossible.
Yeah, and so if you were to take the Quran, let's say if you were to take the Quran, and Allah talks in the Quran about like, oh, he doesn't have a spouse or a son, because that would not befit His Majesty.
Saying
and
saying that it won't befit His Majesty does not matter to this discussion. What matters is the fact that he can't do it, even if he wanted to, without help. That's the point. So focus on that.
Okay. Yeah, again, I give you my answer. If you're not gonna take it, that's what my answer is.
For example, does it befit a king's majesty to sweep and mop the palace floor?
Does it befit His Majesty?
Yeah, does it befit His Majesty as the king to sweep and mop and scrub the palace floor?
Yeah, depends what kind of king you're talking about.
We're talking about a king in general. Does it befit His Majesty? Does it befit a king's majesty to get the mop and the broom and sweep and clean? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But so it doesn't befit His Majesty. Does that mean that he can't do it?
Then he can't do it. I mean, if you're talking about a king, that's a whole different situation. Because again, if you talk about
isn't Allah the king of the day?
Wait, let me speak. If you talk about Allah in the Quran, so that and in the Quran, Allah would not begot a son, because that does not befit His Majesty, and He wouldn't do it. But a king sweeping the floor would not befit His Majesty. But if he wanted to do it, he would do it. But if you're talking about,
if he wanted to do it, can he do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would not.
So
yeah,
with Allah,
that would not. With
Allah,
not be illogical.
This is the issue now.
Yeah, but that would not
if he
be
wanted to do
illogical.
it, just pause for a second. If he wanted to sweep and mop the floor, he could sweep and mop the floor if he wanted to, even though it doesn't befit him. It's below him to do such a thing, but he could do it if he wanted to. Got it. With Allah now, it doesn't befit him to have a son. Matter of fact, it's below him to have a son. But if he wanted to do it, he could, but he would need help. He would need a mate in order to do that. He can't do it by himself.
But he still wouldn't do it.
No worries. I don't care whether he would do it or not. The fact that he can't do it is my issue. You get my problem?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So if he can't do it, that means that he's not all powerful, right?
Again, it depends what you say, because there's some stuff that God wouldn't do.
I'm not talking about wouldn't. I'm talking about can for the last time. I'm talking about can. If there's something that God cannot do by himself, does that mean that he's all powerful?
Yes.
He's still all powerful if there's something he can't do by himself?
Yes. Can I explain?
Please.
Yeah, so let's say God's sending a revelation and choosing a prophet to do it, and God not coming by himself to earth to do it. It doesn't mean, so it does mean that he wouldn't do it because it wouldn't befit his majesty, but he's choosing a servant of him to do it.
Could he do it? Could he do it instead of the servant?
No, because God would not enter creation.
Okay, so could he, if he wanted to, it's illogical for God to enter creation.
Yeah.
So when Allah enters creation, when he comes down to the at every third of the night.
Can you show me that?
Yeah, sure, of course. He
Yeah,
descends.
go ahead.
He descends to the lowest heaven, bro.
Yeah, and it's still we don't talk about the yet.
I don't
We
care.
don't
I
ask
don't care
that.
about the how. The fact that he does it is all that matters. I don't care if he uses wings or
Yeah,
a
but-
helicopter. The fact he descends to the lowest heaven shows you that he enters creation.
No, it doesn't, because you can. Okay, here, can I explain?
Go ahead.
In the Quran, it says when we sleep, our souls goes to Allah. That doesn't mean that Allah enter creation, or we goes out of creation. It means that he's the same way that I go to my soul goes to Allah, the same way Allah, the lower heavens, Allah descends to it, but that Allah doesn't enter creation, and we don't talk about the yet.
Well, this is what it says. It says Allah waits till, this is Sahih Muslim 758E. Sahih Muslim 758E. Allah waits till when 1/3 of the first part of the night is over, he descends to the lowest heaven. So there's a time that he waits for, a specific time that he waits for, and then the action that he takes is descending, coming down. He descends to the lowest heaven, which is ours, and says, is there any supplicator of forgiveness? Is there any penitent? Is there any petitioner? Is there any solicitor till it is daybreak?
Yeah, and I accept that hadith, and we don't talk about the yet how he does
But
it.
we see that he's descending to the
here's
lowest
the
heaven,
thing.
right?
Yeah, here's the thing. If let's say if you're gonna talk to me about Allah, the way our belief is, we don't believe he enters creation. Even though the hadith says this, the scholars they say that we don't talk about the yet. We don't talk about how he does it.
Unfortunately,
and we don't believe that he does enter creation. We don't believe that.
That's fine.
So-
You could believe whatever you want. However, Muhammad says something that's different from what you believe. Muhammad says that
No,
Allah
Muhammad never
picks
taught that Allah
hold on.
enters creation.
This is excuse me, hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
So that you know who's speaking. Abu Sa'id and Abu Huraira reported Allah's messenger as saying. So this is Muhammad saying this. Muhammad is teaching that Allah picks a particular time frame at in the night, the third part of every night. Okay?
Mhm.
And he descends to the lowest heaven. So there's a location where he's descending to. Now, you believe that Allah's above creation, right?
Yeah.
So he's above creation. Muhammad says Allah descends. He comes down to creation, to the lowest heaven.
Okay, so the same way, like in the Quran, it talks about Allah not entering His creation. The same way, if you let's say you're saying that Muhammad peace be upon him spoke this voice, and again in the Hadith, Muhammad is saying that Allah descends to the lowest heaven. That doesn't mean that He enters His creation, because we know in the Quran that Allah says that He doesn't enter His creation, and the Hadith we don't talk about the yet. We don't say how He does it, but we know He
the Quran
does
doesn't say that, bro. I just stopped. The Quran doesn't say He doesn't enter creation, but right here, is the lowest heaven in creation?
Yes.
So Allah descends to creation, right?
He descends down, but
Where?
to creation? No, he doesn't enter the creation.
Where? Okay, if he's above creation and he descends down, where does he descend down to? Since Muhammad is not clear enough, where is Allah descending to? Remember, he's above creation, but then he descends to where? By the way, when you're off the app, I can't hear you, just to let you know. By the way, guys, if you guys are enjoying the conversation on YouTube, make sure you guys do not forget to hit the like button as we wait for our friend to come back to us. He's probably just checking it out and doing a little bit of research. I have no problem with that. So as he's looking for that, guys, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't researching. I got a call. My bad.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so he's above creation, and then he descends. It says to the lowest heaven, but you're saying no, it's not creation. Okay, fine. Where does he descend to?
Say that again.
Where does Allah descend to?
He descends to the lowest heaven.
And the lowest heaven is in creation, is that right?
The low, yeah.
So he descends to creation.
Yeah.
See? So Muhammad teaches that Allah enters creation. And you're saying that that's illogical.
Yeah, we believe and we accept the hadith, but we say that he does it the way that befits his majesty, and we don't talk about the yet.
Very good.
And we don't believe he enters creation.
Hey, I could work with that. Allah enters creation in a way that befits his majesty. We don't know how he does it, but he does it. And he does it in a way that befits him. Perfectly fine. So, but he does it. Now, let's get back to the main point here then. As since we know that Allah enters creation in a way that befits him. You did. You said that he does it in a way that befits his majesty.
No, I said he descends to the lowest creation in a way that befits his majesty. Right. And we don't say he does enter creation. That's what I've been telling you the whole time.
But you just 2 seconds before this, you affirmed that yes, he enters creation.
No, I said yes, he descends to the lowest heaven, but we don't talk about the yet. That's what I've been telling you.
Okay, I'll ask it again. Where does he descend to?
He descends to the lowest heaven.
Where is that? Is that in creation?
Yeah, that's in creation.
So does Allah descend to creation?
No, he doesn't enter the creation.
Okay.
He doesn't enter the lowest heaven.
Oh Lord! All right, hey man, thanks for coming, bro. I appreciate it.
Wait, can I say one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know how do you have a problem with that, because you believe that God enters creation. So I don't know what's that's like. Why is that?
I don't have a problem with this. You have a problem with this. I'm only showing that what you call illogical, Muhammad taught. So you're saying Muhammad taught illogical things. I don't have a problem with this, but you do.
Okay, why would you brought it up saying that Allah is not God by proving that from that hadith?
No, I didn't prove. No, I only brought this hadith up addressing you saying that Allah cannot enter creation because that's illogical. So I was just showing you that you're throwing Muhammad under the bus because Muhammad taught that Allah can enter creation, and according to you, this is illogical. The argument that I brought that shows Allah is not God is that he is not able to have a son by himself without a mate. So he's not all powerful. That was my argument.
Okay, can I say one more thing?
You already said one more thing, man. It's
gonna be the last one. It's gonna be the last one.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So do you know what Muslim takes their deemed their religion from? What are the 4 sources that we take from?
What are the 4 sources?
Do you know or not?
Nope, I don't. I'm ignorant.
Okay, so we take the Quran, Hadith, the Ijma, and the Qiyas.
Ijma is that consensus of the scholars?
The consensus, yeah, of the scholars.
And then what was the last thing you said?
There's gonna be Qiyas.
What is that?
That means if you don't find it in the Hadith or the Quran or anything, then the scholars would think about it from a lot, and they would bring their logical reason and give an answer if there's a problem or situation that we need something from the Quran or the Hadith.
How's that different from the Ijma?
Because Ijma would be scholars talking about it, and they would find it in the Quran and the Hadith, and they would say, oh, here in this Hadith this happened and that happened, and then they would link it to each other, say, oh, this is how we're gonna deal with this situation.
Got it.
And the Qiyas is your own opinion bringing it up. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, and do you know that our scholars, they say that Allah doesn't enter creation, right?
I don't care what they say. So what happens when your scholars disagree with Muhammad?
But they don't disagree with Muhammad.
They do. If Muhammad clearly teaches that Allah enters creation, and your scholar says Allah does not enter creation, who do I go with, Muhammad or your scholar?
Okay, so if a scholar says that yes, Allah descends to the lowest creation, but he does not enter creation, is that problematic?
Yeah, it is, because he's literally going into creation. He's passing the other 6 heavens to get to the lowest one. There's 7 heavens, right?
Yeah.
So the lowest one at the bottom, he passes through, and he's above the 7 heavens. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So to descend to the lowest heaven, he passes through the other 6.
Okay, so
he's in creation at this point.
Yeah, so you say that he enters the sixth one first, and then he comes.
He passes through the sixth, and he approaches the seventh. He's at the lowest one.
Does he enter the sixth, fifth, fourth, and third?
He passes through the heavens. He's in creation at this point when he.
Does he enter those or not?
He enters. I don't know, man. Hey, take care, man. This is it. Take care of yourself. Take care. I appreciate you coming, man. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Welcome back, guys. We believe you were able to learn something new from this exciting video. Let's know your view in the comments section. If Allah requires a mate to have a son, does this indicate a limitation in his omnipotence? The Muslim perspective often emphasizes that Allah's actions align with his majesty and perfection. It's not about inability but about what is fitting for his nature. The argument shifts to whether the Quran implies an actual limitation on Allah's ability versus what he chooses to do. Christianity teaches that God is all-powerful and that there is nothing he cannot do, including becoming incarnate or having a son if he wills it. The verse in the Quran implies a limitation in Allah's nature, as it states that he cannot have a son without a wife. This raises questions about his omnipotence. Christians argue that an all-powerful God can choose to enter his creation without compromising his divinity. The incarnation of Jesus Christ is viewed as the ultimate expression of God's love and sovereignty. In contrast, many Islamic theologians assert that Allah is entirely transcendent and does not enter his creation, implying a self-imposed limitation. The Christian question: if God is truly omnipotent, why would entering his creation be beyond his capability? The assertion that Allah does not or cannot enter creation might suggest a limitation in his interaction with the world, raising theological questions about the extent of his omnipotence and relationship with humanity. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.